there are some elements that are just straight out of the kid show, or like a game that is like straight out of the kid show. But we also find that in the kid show, the adults really like playing the games as well.
They often win, actually, and like the kids are like, I wanted the stickers, and then mum's walking around with the stickers.
Hello and welcome to Tickets Still Available, a podcast where I really do my best to help comedians that have gigs where tickets are still available. And as we're at Edinburgh season, and that is a very stressful time for comedians, I am joined by Robyn Perkins and Elaine Fellows that currently have two joint ventures going on at the minute, Battle of the Reefs, which is for children, and Quest for the Coolest Fucking Animal, a kids show for adults, isn't. But they also have other shows because comedians seem to work every hour God gives them and then appear in other people's shows at random. So, hello.
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 How are you finding the preamble to Edinburgh?
Busy.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in the eye of the storm right now. I was very much like super stressed. I'm in the center. I'm having a calm weekend and I will start freaking out imminently tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you need to get about a week out, and that's when you're allowed to start. If you start freaking out before that, you've got no hope. You got to time your freakouts. So about a week before seems good to me.
I'm a fan of a comedian called Mickey Bartlett, and I mind him saying that you should never enter competitions. So Elaine, you've entered how many? What is it? Max Turner Prize 2020.
Oh, wow, going way
So
back.
You Think You're Funny 2021. Leicester Square Theatre New Comedian of the Year. Brighton Comedian of the Year. Hastings Comedian of the Year. East Coast Comedian of the Year finalist.
And
Northwest Down New Comedian. And what was it? Kula Comedy. I'm sure there's ones I'm missing, but you really hit the road running.
Yeah, and not to brag, didn't win a single one, so...
But you got your name out there.
Yeah, I guess. It's funny because, like, in the beginning, I think... I mean, there's loads of competitions when you first start. A lot of them are open mic competitions, which is great, and it's a really good way... I think it's a good way to force you to write, actually, and, like, make your stuff better, and you get known a little. But, yeah, in the beginning, it seems like you have to do it. It's a thing to do. And then I think the longer you do comedy, the more you're like, oh no, I don't want to do that at all. Why am I doing that to myself? And there's just less competitions the longer you go. But yeah, in the beginning, I really threw myself out there for some reason.
But did you not do the thing where you just bring all your friends and then have them vote and then you win?
I think I burnt all of my friends coming to my gigs really early on because I started in London and lots of it was bringers. So my he's now my husband, but at the time he's my boyfriend, my long-suffering Daniel, he had to come to lots of the early stuff. So by the time I started doing the competitions, I think everyone was like, I am not coming to watch you do 5 minutes in a basement ever again.
Yeah, I did. I was quite similar because when you start out, I did a load of competitions as well. And you kind of have like a competition year where you're in all of them. And yeah, I think it is good to get people to hear your name if you end up in the finals of a bunch of them. But then a longer term, I don't think it really matters at all. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm just now at the point where I've been doing comedy long enough that my friends have started coming back to gigs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? They're like, oh, actually, that sounds quite good. I might come to that.
Yeah. Although it backfires. I had a bunch of friends come to our kid show in January. And first of all, a lot of them couldn't believe that we were doing kid shows because when I started out and they were attending all the open mics back in like 2011, 2012, like when it was really, I was really shit and very sweary, not kid appropriate. And then they just stopped coming for a number of years. And then came 2026 and they were like, wow, no, you actually do have a kid show. It's actually, and then they were like, one of my friends actually was like, I'll be honest, it was actually really good. Like I wasn't expecting it to be that good.
You've only been professional for several years.
I know. Yeah. So
is the idea that you sort of had the kids one and then the next year you can make it the sort of more adults one because you've maybe had a lot of time to think about it in that way?
Yeah, that's kind of this is our first year doing an adults version of the kids show. Basically, we were doing the kids show, I think it was in Australia we started talking about it, wasn't it, Robyn? When we were doing it?
Because so many and a couple things happened actually when we did it in London as well, where, there's some improvised games and a few
Hmm.
things just kept coming to mind, and I was like, "Oh, I can't say
Uh-oh.
Can't
that in
say
front of kids."
that.
Um, yeah, then in Australia, we're like, "Actually, that'd be quite fun," because especially with the animal kingdom, it's so dark. Like,
Yeah.
not even sexual, just, like,
Yeah.
really dark, messed up
Well, I
stuff that
remember
animals
hearing
do.
that with documentaries on animals, quite often they have just hours of footage of like incredible like cruelty. I know the animals aren't consciously doing the cruelty, but like animals are slowly dying and being eaten alive and stuff, and they're like, we
Yeah.
can't show that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no one wants to think of it like that, but it is like
No.
honestly, Robin sends me the darkest Instagram reels. You wouldn't like. I wouldn't want anyone to ever access our DMs.
I know, out of context, and just on like a Monday morning. Oh,
Yeah.
here's an Instagram reel of an insect sewing other dead insects to its back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I think we
um,
were in Australia. We were like drinking. I'm sure we were drinking beer. Normally, our great ideas come when we're drinking beer somewhere. And then, yeah, I think we just started saying, wouldn't it be funny if we could actually say all the stuff that we wanted to say in the kids' show? But how would we do that? And then the obvious answer was, I guess we'd have to have adults in the room.
Mhm.
Yeah, and now we've done it. We did it at Shaftesbury Fringe, like a preview at Shaftesbury, and we had so much fun. Like, if nothing else, me and Robin are finding the show hilarious.
yeah.
Is it very adult, or is it more just kind of like a, what do you call it? Like a horrible histories, nearly just a little bit older?
It's I think it's actually what works about it is kind of like this juxtaposition where
Yeah.
because we do a lot of parody songs as well. And
Mhm.
so I think that there are some elements that are just straight out of the kid show or like a game that is like straight out of the kid show. But we also find that in the kid show, the adults really like playing the games
Yeah.
as
Okay.
well.
They often
Like,
win, actually. And like the kids
Oh.
are like, I wanted the stickers, and their mum's walking around with the
Can it get a
stickers.
bit like Sports Day where the parents take it too serious?
Yeah, for sure.
God.
we actually one of the times I did the kid show in Australia, it was the year before Elaine got on board, and it was just called Comedy for the Curious Animals. And a group of 4 adults just showed up with wine, and they
Oh
didn't
God.
realize that it was a kid show until the home screen on as they're waiting for the show to start just said for kids, and I saw in real time their faces just go, "Oh no." And so we actually had them be their own team, so they competed against the
Okay, the
kids for the
adult team.
show. Yeah, and they had a blast. It was great. But yes, I think some of it there is like a lot more swearing in the adult show. I will
I would say
say.
it is
Yeah.
definitely for adults, but
Yeah.
it's still got the like kid element that a lot of like I think that you forget about as an adult sometimes, and then as soon as it comes to you, like the games, the songs, you're like, oh yeah, this is hilarious. I love doing this.
Yeah.
So it's a nice mix. It's definitely not a dark late night show,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
it's
okay.
definitely not a kid show.
Mhm.
Yeah, like we have
I-
some of the games are just like one of the things that is exactly the same in both is called butt face, where we
Mhm.
show it's basically it's about mimicry, but we show pictures of animals and you have to figure out if it's a butt or a face. Which
You wouldn't
is
believe how many people don't know the difference between a butt and
Okay.
a face.
yeah, it's a lot harder than it looks. But
Is that deliberate though? So predators will attack you from like your bum instead of your face?
Yeah, so some of it they'll have like there's a frog that has these things that look exactly like eyes on its butt and they think
Mhm.
that you're going to move one direction or the other. There's some caterpillars that have like fake eyes so that they look like snakes and they look a lot bigger
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
tougher. Yeah, so that kind of thing.
Because I know don't tigers sort of have what looks like a face on their neck? So when they're drinking, it looks like
Yeah.
to other tigers a face.
Yes, they do. Although I can't find a picture of it that is good enough to trick out people.
I
I've
think it's one of
tried.
those things there. If you had seen it from afar, you instantly go a face.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I had
So-
an idea if you make Battle of the Reefs an adults only one, which would be only fins.
Yes, nice.
That is
great
We-
game.
We, will definitely use that next year.
Robin, write that down.
I'm messaging you right now. I think the reason why we're kind of 1 year behind is because it allows us to do the show for a
Mhm.
whole year to kids and then
Yeah.
have all of those things that we've come up with going, oh, here's actually an adult punchline. Here's a
Yeah.
like, and we have a year of touring around the world of that experience. Whereas Battle of the Reefs, like we have like I feel like I'm really happy with the show. But the first time we did it was May, and then we kind of restructured it all last weekend, and so it's in a really good place now. But we don't have the year of touring to come up
Yeah.
with all those adult punchlines and moments that happen.
A lot of it will happen in Edinburgh and other shows. Like the audience, often the audience give it to. They will just say things that we're like, write that down. That's coming
Yeah.
back in future.
Are you stressed about the 8th and the 9th? Because those seem to be the days, and the 7th, sorry, where you're doing both shows in the one day.
I'm actually doing 4 shows on that
Yeah.
day.
Oh.
I think there's a few shows that we're doing 5 shows a day, isn't there, Robyn? I think minimum we're doing 4 shows a day for the first 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That sounds really scary.
my spot calendar is probably too much. Like the 7th, I've got 6 going on. The 8th, I have 7. The 9th, I die. No,
No, we've got a
so-
show. You can't die, please.
Actually,
You can die on the 17th.
Yeah. Well, I
Well,
leave on
I
the 17th. You're staying.
Yes, I know. I mean, I've done Edinburgh, the full run of Edinburgh every year since since 2013.
Wow.
But I think also doing the Australian fringes every year, especially on weekends, you get used to doing 8 or 9 shows a day.
Uh-huh.
Don't get me wrong, it's going to be very hard, and I'm very grateful that 2 of our shows do not start on the 6th, so we get kind of a soft intro to it. But I think you just get used to it. That and ADHD really helps me through.
Yeah, well, I find it can make you struggle to just focus on one thing, but I guess is it the white hot heat of it's about to happen?
Yeah, it is. In some shows actually helps is that all 4 shows that I'm doing are so completely different that you're able to bring a fresh energy every time. And I think the adult show I'm just the most excited for because we're like I mean, it is a scripted
Is it
show
your
with
treat?
It is. It's kind of like we can just fuck around. It's very exciting. Yeah. So it is a fun show, and I think it's a bit lower. It's just meant to be silly fun, and so there's not like all right, serious energy. Not that I feel like most shows shouldn't be serious. They are comedy. Anyway.
I've asked all the other ones, so I feel like I shall ask everyone at this point. What do you think the Australian fringes could teach Edinburgh, and maybe vice versa?
Ooh. Oh. I mean, so one of the things that I enjoy, well, there's 2 things. First of all, Adelaide. What I love about it is Adelaide's not a huge city, and they have a ton going on in the month of March, or it goes about mid-February to mid-March. But it means that because the rest of the year is a bit quieter, everybody who lives in the city just embraces it, and everybody just goes out every night, and especially everyone who lives in Adelaide really loves it. But the other thing that the Australian fringes do that is quite nice for performers is 2 things. First, they midweek, Monday to Friday, there's not really anything happening before 5 p.m.
Okay.
And so a lot of the shows are like just at night or just weekends. And that it's nicer for the performers because then when you're doing 8-10 shows on a Saturday or on a Sunday, you know that Monday you're just going to have off. And a lot of venues actually shut on Mondays. That also means that there's shorter runs. So even though the Adelaide Fringe is a week longer than Edinburgh, for example, the Shrinkwrapped, which is my live therapy show with comedians, but that had like a 1-week run. So you just do 1 week of that, and the rest of the time you're doing spots. So it's less all in all the time, and I think that helps with burnout.
Are you a therapist? Because when I was watching your other stuff, there seemed to be a lot of therapy going on, but it was like another woman critiquing everyone.
Yeah, I am not a therapist or a psychologist. No,
Just a big fan.
we get it. I know. It's just I think I am a bit messed up and I want some free therapy. It's but no, yeah, I know. So we actually have therapists and psychologists that we work with around the world, and so it's an actual psychologist on stage who's taking notes.
Okay, wow.
And then 3 of us do short sets, and then there's a group therapy session. So, yeah.
Do they? Yeah, a lot of the men don't seem to take it serious. Do you ever find them behind the stage actually going, "That was actually good"?
Yes, it's true. Actually,
Yeah,
in
no, they
Perth, one of the
do.
ones that Elaine was on, it was me and Elaine and
Mm-hmm.
another Perth comedian, Xavier Souze, who he was on it twice.
Mm-hmm.
And after it, he has since told me so many things. He's like, the show changed my life. Like he went in
Wow.
very shut down and he was like, I didn't realize how shut down I was about emotions, and how much I was not letting anybody in and really closed off, and started really working on it. And since the Perth Fringe last year, he's like, I'm in a relationship. I've actually opened up a lot. I'm a much healthier person. Like he got
Mm.
so much out of the show.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And I think it's when I'm booking the show, I try to have a bunch of different personalities on so that there's quite a different dynamic. And so even though sometimes you get a lot of guys on there who don't really want to open up,
Yeah.
it is different. Some of them open up too much.
Oh.
I think what's great about Shrink Wrap, like, because it's Robyn's show, but I've been on it, I don't even know now, 20, 30 times, something silly.
Yeah.
You should be
At
cured
this
by
point,
now.
yeah, at this point, I should be better than I am for sure. But what's amazing about it is, like, it doesn't really matter how many times you do it, it is never, ever the same.
Enough.
And even if you have the same lineup, it's never the same because, well, one, you do a different subject a lot of the time, but two, the therapist always manages to get us to admit something else every time that we never really wanted to or even thought that we would say, I think. And that's and you do come away from it like, wow, what a ride we just had for the last 60 minutes. And a lot of the time audience ask us, is it scripted? And it's like, it's actually the only show that we do that doesn't have a script, because both the kids show,
Does
the
that
adult
mean you
show.
look forward to it because you're not worrying about the material, or are you dreading it because they're like, what are they going to uncover this time?
No, I love it. I think because I love crowd work and like that kind of thing and improv. And me and Robyn quite like that together. I think that's why we work well together, because even though we have a script, we can go off it and come back to it. So yeah, Shrink Wrap for me is, I think, my treat. That'll be my treat each day, that I get to go and do
Okay.
this thing, and I'll have no idea where it's going.
Could you just give me a rundown of everything you're doing? Because I remember when I interviewed Ollie Horn, it was like, oh my God, stand-up comedians just work every hour of the day.
He
and
has
they barely
got
pay
zillions
rent.
of shows.
I think honestly, a lot of comedians look at me and they're like, you do too much every Fringe. And Ollie is the person that I look at and I'm like, no, Ollie, you do too much every Fringe.
Okay.
His schedule is he makes me look lazy, which is saying a lot. All right, so we start off every day 11:15 in the morning. We have Battle of the Reefs, which is the kid show. Then there's actually quite a big break where we're doing spots and stuff.
Yeah, we'll go to do other people's shows in that time.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
then
eat. That might
It's
be
not
good.
really a break though. You're still working.
I know.
My
it's
plan is to
true.
eat lunch and sit down. That's what I'm going to try and do it at least once in the Fringe. I'll try and do that, I reckon.
Yeah. My plan is to have Elaine make me sit down and eat lunch.
Yes, that will be my job.
Yes. So then at 7 p.m. is Comedy for the Curious, and that is my science comedy panel show. So that is basically, I have two different topics that I rotate every Fringe, and I'll do a science comedy set. It's about 20, 25 minutes on the topic, and I'll have a guest comedian on who does like a 5-minute set about the topic, but not sciencey. And then we bring on a scientist for a panel chat at the end. So it's the three of us having a chat.
Kind of like an infinite monkey cage sort of thing.
Yeah,
Without the controversy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so it's interesting. So the chat usually is tailored to what scientists we have on. So this year's subjects one of them is about motivation, and one of them is called Unzipping Your Genes, and it's about the influence what you inherit from your parents. But for that one, a lot of times we'll have psychologists on. So I'll talk about the genetics and what you inherit from your parents, and the psychologist will talk about how your life experience has shaped who you are.
Oh yeah, nurture versus nature, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing, exactly. So that's 7 to 8. Then we have Shrinkwrapped from 9 to 10, and that's the live therapy show. So I think the full title is Shrinkwrapped: A Psychologist Analyzes Comedians Live. And that's a bit of a tight turnaround, but we'll be fun. Mainly because we finish at 8 with Comedy for the Curious, then have to get from Counting House down to Grassmarket for a 9 p.m. start. And
You always get your steps in Edinburgh. That's the one thing.
oh,
There's no way you're not getting 10,000 more steps a day.
Honestly, I feel like I've got 5 jumpsuits that I don't fit into right now, and I will do by day 5.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone just needs the Edinburgh diet.
Yeah, exactly. And then for 5 of the days only, which I'm happy that we're only doing 5 days, even though it's the show that I think I'm going to have the most fun with. That is our quest for the coolest fucking animal at 11:10. So,
are you finding stand-up is better than a normal job? Because listening at this end, it just sounds incredibly stressful. And
I'd be terrible at a normal job, though. I think it's what everyone does. What they
because you've done a lot of other stuff in entertainment, like acting and singing and stuff. So it feels like it's a bit more. It's a normal branch for those things. While Robyn, you were in marine biology, which feels like a very big U-turn.
Yeah, I mean, I love comedy. I wouldn't want to go back. So I also, in between being a marine biologist and comedy, I also did landscape architecture.
Wow.
As you do.
As you do.
How did we not know that she had ADHD? I'll never know.
Yeah. But it's been a while. I haven't had a day job, so to speak, since 2015. I don't think I could go back, because even though my hours are ridiculous, I hate setting alarms.
Okay.
So I just don't need to. Although at the Fringe I will.
Yeah, please. We've got a show at 11, so come on.
Yeah.
I know. I figured I'm going to have to wake up at like 9:30 every day. That's early.
I'll call you.
Is that because, Robyn, you went to boarding school and that kind? Because my mum went to boarding school as the boarding school was being closed, so she kind of loved it, but she hated the alarm aspect of it.
Well, at boarding school, they wake you up. Is that that's what happens?
Well, not at I went to a boarding school. My boarding school was not super strict. We were like the second chance boarding school in the States. No, genuinely.
Sorry, just knowing you, that's really funny.
Because we had you couldn't in a lot of boarding schools you do like one thing wrong and then you just get kicked out. Not my school. No, you get like a warning as well. So if you do something wrong, you go on like disciplinary probation. But then they're like, we won't kick you out yet. Just don't do it again. We did our big claim to fame. Uma Thurman went to my boarding school and got kicked out for smoking.
How many warnings did she have?
I don't know, but that was like the big famous person. I'm like, I don't know.
Wow.
Okay, anyway, no, it's called Northfield Mount Herman. But it was lovely because it was we had 2 campuses that were like a 5-minute drive apart because it was like a girls' school and a boys' school that they combined. And Northfield was like the hippie campus. Where it was very much like drumming circles on the hill every night at sunset. And then you had Mount Herman, which was the jock campus, and that's when you had like the football field. And but it was a bit more relaxed, I'd say.
Okay. A chill one.
Yeah, chill one.
Is it still going, or has it been shut down? It feels like all that hippiness is gone.
Yeah, I think they've turned it it's gotten harder. I think they put it on one campus maybe. But I loved it. And don't get me wrong, like even though it was chilled out, like rules wise, it was still like school wise very intense. Like I had, like it was just as academically challenging. I think they just weren't as like wake you up at 7 a.m. strict. We also had we had thing called work job, which we just accepted as the name, but in hindsight, I'm like, that's such a brand work
job.
Work job. I know they weren't very creative on the naming.
Work.
Yeah, I know. Like it was
doing chores or like work experience or.
So you basically had chores that you had to do every week, and so it was either like 45 minutes, 5 days a week, or you could do 4 hours on Sunday. Or there are some of them, because we were in New England, one of the work jobs was during March holidays, you'd stay on campus and collect sap
Okay.
for like 2 weeks straight because we made our own
Like
maple
in the
syrup.
Soviet
Of
Union.
course you did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, because it was in New England, so we made our own maple syrup from maple trees, and
Okay.
so one of the
America
jobs
is
was
wild. Sometimes you say things like it's normal, and I'm just like, what are you? I think if you tried to get a bunch of English kids to do this, they'd be like, what are you talking about?
when my wife found out about it, she was like, "What? No, that just sounds like child labor." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Well, no, because you had like if you were living at home, you have chores that you have to do every day, right? Your parents give you chores, and it's essentially the same thing." Because you're not like when you're at boarding school, you send off your laundry. So you're not like doing your own laundry, or you're not like
As a kid, I wasn't doing my own laundry though, right? Like 13.
when you were
I-
15. I mean, I went to boarding school
No.
14 to 18. You
You
weren't
were doing
doing
your own laundry. Wow, I need to call my mum and say thank you. No, at 50, my mum wouldn't have let me touch the washing machine. She'd have been like, "You'll break it. You'll mix colours. Absolutely not. You're not allowed to touch my washing machine."
Well, okay. I just thought there was no, but like emptying the dishwasher, like didn't you do
Oh,
like
maybe. Actually, I didn't have a
Yeah.
dishwasher, but I would have washed the dishes. Yeah.
right? And so because we're not doing that, because you eat in like a dining hall and stuff, you're not essentially doing any
Yeah.
chores for the house.
So
then
you
do,
collect
like
sap.
no, you have to get
Did you have to make number plates at one point?
no. Okay. For the record, I didn't collect sap. I was never chosen because you have to.
You were
it's
never
only for
chosen
the
to collect sap. Oh dear.
Yeah, it's only like a small group of kids that get to collect sap, but you also have to stay at school during one of the holidays and you like collect sap constantly for 2 weeks and then you don't have to do work job throughout the semester. Why are you guys not? It's normal.
Because it sounds like you're worker bees. You just have to collect sap constantly.
I like the idea that all hippiness is just a ruse because it's technically like a workhouse.
Yeah, it sounds a bit culty, actually.
No, it's not.
A lot
It's
of American things can do. I think it's just it's so big you have the space to go wild and do whatever
Yeah.
you want. While in the UK and Ireland, it's that small. Someone's
Yeah.
going to back up on you.
This is I'm really glad my wife isn't on this podcast right now because she was like, it sounds exactly like what you're saying, and I'm like, no, because you do chores when you're at home, and all I'm saying is, in your boarding school, you're not doing chores, so this is their version of doing chores.
Okay.
Yeah.
This isn't
Okay.
this isn't a question. I just thought you could do a murder mystery podcast called Perkins and Fellows. I just thought it had a nice ring.
You're coming out with all the good ideas. How
The only
much
problem
permission do we have to
is the
give
two
you?
S's kind of weird.
Perkins and Fellow.
If one dropped an S, I think
I could drop S. Perkins and Fellow. How's that?
Yeah.
Fellow and Perkins.
Fellow
I
and
think the
Perkins.
S at the end sounds the nicest, but it's just an idea. Are you into murder mystery? It kind of makes me sad.
I love a murder mystery. I won't lie.
Okay.
I'm a basic white woman that listens to true crime podcasts.
Because I remember I went to see the last podcast on the left live, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's just nearly all women."
Yeah, it's not a genre of something. Actually, Robyn, do you like true crime? Never asked you that.
Oh, so yes and no. Like I love crime dramas, right?
Mhm.
And I totally want to be a
fictional crime.
detective. Well, yeah, because I get nightmares. So again, I realize I'm talking about my wife
Yes.
too much, but she now proofs the true crime documentaries to see if they're too scary for me to watch.
Oh, that's so cute.
I can't. Yeah, it's sometimes when you're watching like Law and Order and or CSI and they have the crime at the beginning.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to like shut my eyes for the crime,
Okay.
and then my wife will just tell me what the crime was, and then I'll watch the rest of it.
Oh, you are so precious. We must protect you at all costs, Robyn.
I know. I can't watch horror movies at all. It's too.
No, just I remember hearing about, like, I didn't even see anything. So it's Silence of the Lambs, the FBI detective sort of shadowed an actual FBI detective. And the guy was like, "Oh, thank you for letting me into your world." And he was like, "I didn't let you into my world. I have the audio recordings of the Toy Box Killer." And he was just like, I was just the even thought of that made me sad for like a week, of the actual recordings of an actual murder.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you have to feel far enough removed from it.
Yeah.
That you don't like. If I couldn't do it as a
Yeah.
job, but I think
Do you think that's
listening
why a
to
lot of ones
it-
in the UK like it when it's in America? Because it feels there's like there's a screen between
For
it
sure.
and reality.
I find it hard to watch. Yeah, you're right. Actually, I do find it hard to watch British ones, but I will listen
Yeah.
to the American podcast. Also, I feel like the way they set it up feels like it's fake anyway, because it's all like quite American and dramatic.
Well, because we associate that with film and TV.
Yeah.
It's not like 999.
No, yeah, I can't. Oh, yeah, any of that. You know what they've got?
Can you even listen to that intro without being stressed?
No, that's what I mean. Or like 24 hours in A&E or anything like that. Oh, I can't watch. No, that's too real. Mm-mm.
I'm just realizing how horrendous my I don't watch anything. I can't. Nope. It's
You
too
need to
real
at
for me.
least watch like a 1980s 999 episode. Because do you live in the UK now?
Yes. Oh, this is my permanent home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of this show?
No, I don't know
Okay.
it.
They used to
So I'm like,
reenact things that meant people would phone 999, but the intro and the way it was done was so serious when Sorry, there's something that's lodged in my brain, you know, when they talk about lives in your brain rent free. They were reenacting a farmer had like broken his leg, so he had to drag all the way to his house. But here's the twist. As he dragged himself up the door to get in, there was like a hook on the door, and the hook caught on the top of his like eye socket, and he was trapped there. So every time I see a hook, I just think of this 999 episode.
oh, why does your internet never cut out at the right time?
And there's a little hook I put my green screen on, so I think of it every time I record.
Robin's not going to sleep for a week now.
Oh God, I've ruined everything. Hello, Editing Ruri here. Listening back, I didn't realize how distressed Robyn was. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, Robyn. I hope you're okay. But I also have some weird fact I recently learned on regular features, which is somebody died reenacting one of the things. There was a parachute one, and it went wrong, and someone died, and they just kept making the show. So, ciao, ciao. No, I don't mean bye. I mean on with. You get it.
I mean, we're watching 911 at the moment, like, you know, just the American 911. Yeah, and even that, some of them, I'm like, nope, can't, nope, no, nope. Let's move on.
Speaking of moving on, so you were both on that conspiracy podcast, and in one of them,
Yeah.
it said you could determine the size of an animal from its audio. And I thought, Robyn, is that possible as a marine biologist?
I mean, I don't know. What do you mean? So mine was on, what was my conspiracy?
Yours was on the, was it, we don't know anything and aliens have taught us everything with a big flash?
Oh, yeah. It's because one of last year's Comedy for the Curious at Edinburgh Fringe, one of the topics was the psychology of conspiracy theories.
Yes.
So
you were your description was very good because the stuff you sort of bandy about, but you were like laser focused on why people have conspiracies.
That's very much my vibe.
I seem to think that mine was about almost sort of crime, was it? Did people disappearing in parks or things?
Editing Rui again. Before I rudely interrupt Elaine, yes, she is right. Her episode was The Missing 411, which is about a lot of people go missing in like public parks in America. That was the gist. Ciao, ciao. Back to the show. Yours was a bit more classic fun. Because that's the episode it was on, and I was like, I wonder what Robbins thinks of this. Because they were like, I can't mind, was it a Bigfoot creature? But they're like, we have audio recording, which means it's massive. And I was like, I don't know if you can do that.
I just accepted that, actually. It never even occurred to me to question
But you were
that.
a bit more rolling with it. They were more cagey with Robyn.
Yeah, with Robyn. That's because Robyn is actually quite well read and intelligent, and I am just learning as I go along.
Like us all.
I know a lot about very little things. Like I went on Laura Lex's podcast, the Lex Education.
Unless it's landscaping or marine biology.
But it's not even that. Like I was on Lex Education and I was very excited and honored to be on it. And we were talking about coral and nudibranchs. And I thought I knew everything to know about coral reefs and nudibranchs. And then they like straight out the gate, the first like 2 questions they asked me, I was like, I don't know.
Well, I'll give you some good news. Just fields of expertise are so expert that there's a fella midlife crisis. He's a pediatrician, and he was saying that when he talks to other pediatricians that were on his course in university, he's like, I don't know what they're up to.
It's so specialized, and that's why whenever I have scientists on Comedy for the Curious, I mean, I say scientists because I don't know the right word, because I can't say expert because scientists inherently hate to be called an expert because you can't know everything about a single subject. But I think specialist is probably the best
Yeah, that's a good
word
way.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know about, I mean, I imagine that you'd be able to, it's not like you could hear a recording of a sound and go, that's from a 3-meter long animal. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I'd imagine
It
if you're
just
looking
felt
at,
very conspiracy nonsense.
yeah, I feel like obviously
Mhm.
lion versus my cat, right? When they both roar, because my cat will roar, but you just can't really hear it because her vocal cords are so small, right?
Small.
And then she's like, that's like her roar. And then yeah. Having said that, I mean, I probably have the same size vocal cords as most humans, and yet
Mhm.
I am so many more times loud. That wasn't proper English. I am louder.
That could be
Yeah.
the fact you're an American in the UK.
So maybe Americans genetically have larger vocal cords, but I
There's
just
more
feel
room to
like
shout.
Yeah, you guys got more space for the noise.
so I don't know is what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
would imagine that you could kind of go, oh, that is a noise that is it. And again, if you're looking at voice rather than like obviously animals can make like crickets will make noise not from vocal cords, but from
Mhm.
yeah. So if you're looking at straight voices, you could probably be like, that's a larger animal, that's a smaller animal. However, it wouldn't it would have such a degree of um like variation that
Mhm.
but I am
So
completely
you
talking out of my
saying
ass right now.
I need to
So
go back on
do
this
not.
podcast and push back on that
Get
one.
receipts.
I need to come back and be like, we need to discuss one thing that you said that I didn't pick up on, and I've now
Mhm.
been told I should have.
Yeah, I mean, I guess how many times louder was the decibel of
I
right?
didn't
Like,
ask. It never even occurred to me. I was so caught up in the conspiracy. I didn't. It didn't even. They said it, and I was like, yeah, Bigfoot must be loud, of course.
yeah, I mean, because like on one hand, I'm like, yeah, Bigfoot is got to be louder, be able to make a louder noise than a mouse, right? Based on the
But I
size.
guess how would we know? Maybe he's a mime.
But it's
We
also
don't
like
know.
Wow.
like I don't know. I don't know if it's as exact of going that noise means this large. But I could be
Mhm.
wrong. I'm not an expert on vocal cords.
Well, did you both did Zoom stand up, didn't you, during COVID?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Was any of it enjoyable? Because it seems to be a lot of people coughing and looking at their phones and not really paying attention.
My answer would be no. I hated
Okay.
every single second of it.
Really?
But I mean, oh god, I hated it. If I never have to do another Zoom gig again, it will be too soon.
I actually liked it. So this is where Comedy for the Curious was born, was on
Okay.
Zoom. And we built up like a lovely, like small little audience that ranged between 15 and 50 that would come every week. And it was really because we had such a good community, but it was also like a different, I think because it was so small, I think where it got really not enjoyable is when you'd have like 200 people on there and people aren't like paying attention or doing their own thing. But I think some people really figured out how to make it enjoyable. So ours, because we were always below 50, you'd have
Mhm.
people with cameras on and sound on. And it was definitely a different skill set of like, you have to say a punchline and then wait. Like the timing of it was different.
Yeah.
But I also think because it was science comedy, people were there for it and they were more engaged and really wanted to be there. It wasn't just what are we gonna do? And then we had like quizzes at the end of every show and stuff like that. Outside the box, Matt Brown's gigs were really good because I think he kind of figured out he'd have a front row ish where he'd have like 10 to 15 people who their faces were on camera, their audio was on, and but they were designed to be the people that comedians could talk to and the people that you'd hear and like keep up the laughter. So it wasn't just silence.
I think
But
that
it wasn't too many.
had maybe like a completely different experience because I only started comedy the year before. So I only began in 2019. So then when we all got locked down, I'd only been doing comedy a year. So not only are Zoom gigs inherently taking away a lot of what you like from comedy, which is like in-person, live, immediate response, but I also myself was still shit. So I was only a year in, so I didn't have the skills to deal with the delay on Zoom or people not paying attention or cameras being off and sound being off or cameras being on and sound being on and then, you know, people's kids shouting or dogs barking. Or so I myself was also uncomfortable. So I think that's where I can imagine Comedy for the Curious being great because it's so specific. It's really tailored to a certain audience. And so they really want to be there. Whereas the generic comedy gigs, and I'm not even necessarily saying that the comedy gigs I did were badly done. I think they were doing the best they could with what they had. But at the end of the day, they were open mics. It was people doing 5 minutes. It's just a very hard. It's a hard landscape anyway to do 5 minutes in a lineup of 20 in a pub. But then to do it on Zoom, I just felt like was maybe a step too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. There is one, the 2020 Christmas Zoom was amazing because we were all in lockdown and or maybe it was either 2020 or 2021 where there was a series of Zoom corporate Christmas company gigs.
Oh, okay.
And there were like, if you were in them, it was like the best because you could not just double, triple. I mean, because you're just on a computer, so you had some acts.
And you get to stay at home?
Yeah, staying at home, logging on, doing 20 minutes, and then logging off, going to the next one. Like, you had people doing like 8, 10 in one night of just, which was great. It was, and then it's so interesting. It was such an anomaly that I don't think will ever happen again in our time. Hopefully. But
it's funny because
did it really well.
Like it was again, I'd only done comedy for a year, but I'd been doing voiceover for quite a while, and a similar thing happened in 2020 for voiceover, in that studios shut down. So just anyone that had the ability to record at home, even if it was, I mean, I had a microphone and stuff, but I was literally putting like a bed sheet over me. But because I had the ability to record at home, it was just job after job after job after job, in a way that you would never experience now. Like now everyone could go back out to studios but just the simple having a microphone and a laptop was enough to be like, here's an advert, here's this, here's that. Yeah, it was a weird time.
Yeah, it was very weird. Yeah.
How did you get into doing voiceovers?
Well, because I started as an actor, so I went to drama school and left there, did a bit of acting, a small bit, and just people kept telling me that I had a good, basically because I'm Northern and Northerners are apparently very nice for selling stuff, so I just got told to do a voice reel. So I did, and I was just super lucky. I think it was just all good timing. Had a great voice reel made. They introduced me to an agent. I think it was just a nice series of, sometimes you just get a series of lucky events, and that kind of was my trajectory. And it was just in time. I think I started that about 2017. So I've been going long enough by lockdown that I was like established enough in that world that I didn't really have to fight too hard. So I was super lucky that sort of avenue didn't shut down. Because I hadn't been going in comedy long enough for that to really carry on. And acting completely shut down. There was nothing like online for that really. So it was,
so you're nearly only here because of voiceover work?
Oh, 100%. I think if I didn't have that, I don't know what we'd have done, because my husband's also self-employed. So both of us just looking at each other like, what are we going to do? Like, I guess we'll just drive for Sainsbury's now. I don't know what else we're going to do.
Robyn, you once broke a woman's finger. Do you miss water polo?
I mean, I love the information on us for this. This is so good. This deep dive.
You have gotten some research.
My special skills is podcasts.
Really good.
I mean,
you are an expert at this. We need Comedy for the Curious. This is one of the subjects. Deep diving.
You should do a true crime documentary of just true crimes that comedians have committed. I did break a girl's finger playing water polo. Do you even know this, Elaine? I don't know if I've told you this before.
I think we talked about it. Did we talk about it in a Shrinkwrapped show? Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Or was that you breaking your sister's hand? Because you've also broke your sister's hand.
Oh my goodness!
My sister broke my hand.
My sister broke my hand. Sorry. Oh yes, sorry. I take that back.
Victim blaming
and she
again.
didn't even get in trouble. I remember that.
I do miss water polo. I've been like back in and out of it. Last summer I kind of got back into it for a bit, and I think I'm going to start playing again after the Fringe. But I used to, when I first moved to London, I was on a national team, and like we played a lot. I broke the girl's finger in the States. I do miss it quite a
Where
bit.
it's legal,
But, okay.
you can't do it here.
Yeah, that's
No,
true.
okay. Can I defend myself? All right.
Please.
I was okay. I don't know how well you know water polo, but there's like a pit player, which is like center forward, and you're 2 meters in front of the goal, and your back is to the goal, and you're like kind of running the offense, right? And then you have somebody who is defending you, whose sole job is to like kill you and stop you from scoring. It's like the most violent position. It's very intense. Anyway, but of course you have to have like your hands out of the water because especially when the ball comes in. But there's a lot of grabbing. There's a lot of anything that goes on under the water. It's rough, right? Anyway, so this girl's on my back trying to stop me from scoring. And her finger was already injured, and I feel like that's very important to
You
the
finished
story.
it off.
Okay.
I don't think that makes it better, Robyn. I think that actually makes it worse.
No, and I was leaving her alone, and then she grabbed my neck.
Oh.
So she grabs my neck, like, right? And I'm in the water, and a girl is grabbing my neck. So then I take her hand off of my neck, grab 2 of her fingers, and then she's on my back,
and then you go,
and then I held her hand behind me so that she couldn't grab my neck anymore, and I may have used her finger to get like out of the water more, and I think that's what broke it. But okay.
Ouch.
She hurt me first. I'm the victim.
You just finished her off.
Oh, and then after that, she was not happy. But I just want to be very clear so I don't get attacked. She grabbed my neck. She hurt me first. She was already injured. She shouldn't have been playing water polo with a hurt hand, and she shouldn't have grabbed my neck. Like, what you got? If somebody grabs your
points.
neck, yeah. And then after that, the rest of her team were like so mean to me. They were like kicking me in the wall. They were like, it was. But I'm not a bad person. It's just the game.
The game makes you bad.
No, she attacked me. It was self-defense.
Yeah, you are right.
Well, we'll go to, what is it, VER?
Yeah.
Do you find children make for the best critics?
I mean,
oh my God. The other day, it happened Friday. I was doing a comedy club for kids gig. It was hilarious, and Comedy Sports, which are a great comedy duo, right? They're getting a story from an audience, and they were like, ask a kid. They're like, can you explain the story behind Rapunzel? And so she starts off explaining the story of Rapunzel, and then and very well spoken, very well articulated, then halfway through just stops and goes, wait a minute, you know the story of Rapunzel, why am I even doing this? And they were like, yeah, but for the audience. And she was like, yeah, but you know it, why don't you do it yourself? And it was just
good point.
It's hard to argue with that.
I think what I like about the kids is that they are super honest and in real time. Like, we have had shows where they will literally be like, no, boo. Like, they will 100% let you know. But what that works is, like, on the flip side, if they love it, they're not afraid to show that in all of their glory. And they like make us laugh. We did Shaftesbury Fringe last weekend, and afterwards one of the mums came up to us, and we've got a joke about my butt in the show. And the mum was like, she just kept turning to me and saying Elaine's butt over and over again and laughing. And I just think that's so funny that now for the next week, this girl's probably just going to be like, Elaine's butt. That's the joy. I love that.
Yeah. They do come out with surprising things. The very first kid show that I did, I don't know, maybe 2023, somewhere like a while ago, I had this about cereal before I started talking about animals. It's just like it doesn't matter. Anyway, and some kid after the bit raises his hand about halfway through the show and was like, excuse me, I have a question. What does that have to do with the rest of the show? What are you reviewing for the fucking Guardian? Like,
no diverting.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that you questioned the structural integrity of my show. Yeah. Anyway.
Robyn, you've lived all around the world. What made you settle in the UK?
Yeah. I just love it here. I do.
Okay.
I moved over to be an architect. So
one of your other skills.
One of my other manager. And I just fell in love with living in London and
Hmm.
wanted to stay. And I moved over 2008. I did my first gig the end of 2011. Just did a comedy course on a whim, but I was only supposed to move over for a year and then just fell in love with it. And then I just kind of stayed and I just never left. And then I just like it so much. And especially with comedy, because what's amazing is that the general public just actually buy tickets to shows, and it's
Okay.
not like you need to be famous to earn a living. You can
Hmm.
just be on a mixed bill of comedy. And I do hope that that doesn't change, because you see other countries like America that are so fame driven that
Yeah.
you need to be famous to sell tickets. And so then it means that if you're not famous, then you have to have like 18 other jobs to do comedy. And I do hope that the public still just continue to watch comedy.
Have you gigged much in America? Do you find much difference?
Oh no, I've gigged more in Australia than I have in America. I
Hmm.
do Singapore and Australia every year. When I first started comedy, I
And
used
you
to
decided not to do rehab?
shockingly. I yeah, I did a bit when I first started, but it was tough because I don't sound foreign. I sound very American, so I'm not like
Hmm.
sounding like a special person that yeah. But also, I'm not there to network as
Okay.
well. So I was doing these open mics that had 50 people on them,
Hmm.
and you're
That's quite
there for
good for an
like
open mic.
no,
Yeah.
not audience. 50 acts, zero audience.
Oh,
Very different. Yeah. I mean, there just weren't audience at all. You're just performing to like an empty room or comedians. And I was like, I don't really
hmm.
want to do this. And it just was so stressful and
Well, because
not
isn't the issue
fun.
in America, a lot of people use it as a doorway to get into acting?
Yeah, and I think also like I did one in New York, this open mic that was at like a well-known club, and you
Hmm.
pay $5 to do 5 minutes, and it's just somebody who technically works for the club, although I don't think they're actually watching for booking, and you just
Hmm.
do 5 minutes to that person while a bunch of comedians
Oh,
are waiting to come on.
like an
Oh,
audition.
wow.
Oh no.
It's not
Yeah,
even
it
filmed or
was
anything?
no, it's
Okay.
just it was
So it's just a moneymaker for them?
The idea of
yeah.
pay to play is crazy, actually.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
quite common in America, isn't it? That you pay for stage time, which I just find mental.
Okay, yes and no. I mean, having promoted, like pay to play is different. I think I don't hate the idea of bringers as much as the comedy industry despises it,
Mm.
because I think one of the big issues is when promoters try to sell an open mic as a normal comedy night. And the problem that it is that punters that don't know, like if you're not an avid comedy goer, you just say comedy night, and then people charge you £5, and then you see a bunch of open micers who have done 3 gigs, and then they go, "Oh, I don't really find live comedy funny," and then they never go to a gig again, or they only go to see famous people because the people that they saw that weren't famous sucked.
Hmm.
And so I think that promoters need to be really open about the fact that what an open mic is, and
Yeah.
because I think if they don't, it really hurts the comedy industry. But having said that, being a promoter in London, there are just hundreds of gigs with
Hmm.
ridiculously good lineups that you can
Yeah.
pay like £1, £2, £5. So to get an audience at an open mic, if you're being honest about what it is so hard. And I don't think anybody should be forced to do a bringer.
Hmm.
Absolutely not. But I don't think that the idea of bringers is that bad, of like, hey, people need to practice. Why not have friends of comedians in the audience?
I think where the problem stems though is when it starts being like, and if you don't bring one, you absolutely can't have stage time, because that's where you start to like. Neither of us are from London, I guess, but if you, I don't know, if you don't have a community there, if you've only just moved, or like I don't know, you're visiting,
Yeah.
it is quite hard. And yeah, that was my
True.
problem with it. More the pulling out of people if they can't bring someone.
Or some people do systems where you can be your own bringer. So you come one week and you watch, and the next week and you perform.
Yeah, but how difficult is that if you've got a full-time job or children or whatever else? Again, I think it just like, I don't know, it just means the same voices in comedy rise up quicker, I think. But I mean, I can see that you do. I agree that you have to be honest. It does damage if you start selling tickets to an open mic like it's an amazing thing and then everyone thinks 100%. But I don't know, there's got to be a grey area in bringers, I think, of like some flexibility somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I know it's a very hot topic, and I get
yeah,
that.
and it's never going to be resolved either, is it? Like everybody is going to argue about it.
And I feel like it's the most right-wing opinion that I have. I'm like, I believe the bringers aren't bad. I know I know I'm going to the dark side here, but I don't know. I guess I just don't feel like all of them are. I feel like I understand them.
Do you think Edinburgh tickets are too cheap? This is something I've referenced a lot. Richard Herring is complaining that he thinks that it means that it's difficult for sort of poorer working class comedians because there's sort of it's so much money to do in Edinburgh, and it seems like it's mostly people from London go up that are middle class, get a lot of really good cheap gigs and then head back. Do you think the prices should be higher, or is it just right?
I think the accommodation needs to be sorted out. That is the accommodation.
Because isn't that what Australia
insane.
does better? They put on accommodation for comedians.
I am lucky enough that I have friends in every city that I go to, so I stay with them.
Couchsurfing.
But Elaine, you rented in Australia, and it wasn't. I don't think it was cheap. I don't know what, but it wasn't
cheap. But by Edinburgh standards, what I got for my money and the like how close I was to where we were doing the shows was way better. And also in like Perth, we were earning actual money. Like spots were, they weren't like as good as they would be on a Friday or a Saturday night, in a proper comedy club. But for a fringe, they were, double, sometimes triple what you would get in Edinburgh.
Every spot is paid.
Every spot. Most of Edinburgh spots aren't paid. If they are, it's 20 quid, 30 quid. Because and that's not like a slate on the people doing the gigs. That's the best you can do with what you're getting.
Yeah,
like
the economy.
You can't. That's the only way to do them.
Yeah, but the accommodation is that's what's preventing people from coming.
Yeah,
is the accommodation, and it's something that is like it's heartbreaking because it also is sending this message that like Edinburgh doesn't want us there.
Yeah.
Is that the main thing you'd change about Edinburgh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It's the only thing I'd change. Like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, if you had a wish list, I could give you a bunch. But that's really the thing that's preventing more voices from coming up is that it is so hard. And it's why I want to be doing 4 shows every day? No. But that's the only way I'm going to be able to make it financially viable. Like, I'm physically killing myself because you can't afford to stay in Edinburgh. It's so bad. And I remember back in, 2000, which wasn't even that long ago, but I'm talking like 2015 or so, like you could get a 1-bedroom pretty central for £800 for the month. And that was pretty expensive, 800 to 1,000. Great.
Yeah.
I mean, that is like outside of the Fringe, I feel like 1 bedroom in a 5-bedroom house for 800 to 1,000 pounds for the month or for not even the month, for 3 weeks is fine. It's like, it just hurts my heart, and it just makes me feel like we're going to a city that doesn't want us there.
That's why we're doing a shorter run of the kids show, because for a while I wasn't coming to Edinburgh because I was like, this is not gonna, I can't afford that. Anyway, we've worked it out, and so that's why we're just doing the kids and the adult show until the 16th, and then I leave, and then Robyn carries on with her other shows. But for a brief time, I was staying in student accommodation, like a shared corridor, for £1,400 for 12 nights. And now I found something cheaper, but again, and that was shared. And I'm now in a similar thing in student accommodation shared, but through someone else, so it's like halved, which is great. But still, that was the cheapest, absolute best I could find.
Yeah. Do you find then there's safety concerns if it's shared, or do they?
I mean, you try to pair up with people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel better now that I'm sharing with other comics and clowns that I either know or know of through other people. So I feel much better now because I know who they are as people. But in the beginning, I was kind of just chancing it and hoping that most of the performers are normal.
But the other worrying thing about the accommodation is that it means that people aren't coming up to visit.
Yeah.
And so it means that the audiences are now, and you've seen the shift. So audiences aren't staying over. So people are coming for the day. So I'm worried about the late night show because 10 p.m. is only viable if you're staying over in Edinburgh. But it also means that the type of audience you're getting are inherently the only people who can afford are like older middle class, like, or rich people that are coming up for a couple of days. And so your audience demographic are also changing quite a bit. I love Edinburgh so much, and I'm like, I don't want it to die, and I really worry that the accommodation is
gonna
hurt it.
Yeah. Our kids show is 11:15 a.m. Just checking that because I always want to say 11:10, but that's the others. 11:15 a.m. Battle of the Reefs. We are at the Westnick Records Counting House with Laughing Horse. And you can get tickets now at the Edinburgh Fringe website.
Yeah, it is a kids show with science, comedy, music, games, fun.
And we also rap. Just to,
we do.
We do a rap, which if you don't want to see that, I don't know what else we can offer.
Oh, I know. Then we have Comedy for the Curious, 7 p.m. at the Pear Tree. This is also part of Counting House and Laughing Horse.
Once you put the kids to bed, you can go to that.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the science one. If you like science, that is your jam. If you don't like science, do not come. It's just not for you. Where I am talking, half the days I'll be talking about genetics, half the days I'll be talking about the psychology of motivation. And then at 9 p.m. we have Shrinkwrapped, Psychologist Analyzes Comedians Live. That is at Hoots at Apex. Hoots 1 in the big room. Very exciting. So we have an actual psychologist on stage taking notes. 3 comedians do short sets. And then we have a group therapy session for your enjoyment.
And then we have 5 shows of Quest for the Coolest Fucking Animal, which is our kids show for adults. It's a kids show that we did all of last year. It's got games, it's got songs, it's got rude jokes. It's just everything about the animal kingdom that is completely fucked up. And that's at Hoots 2 at the Apex.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for listening, and we will catch you next time.